Emerson College. Landmarks of New England's historic past dot the nearby downtown area, but at Emerson, they are blazing new trails in education for today and for the future.
This clinic can be the strong hand that slowly erases the world of sight. With that belief, its doors are open.
Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the first annual Emerson Evie Awards. Tonight we will be honoring students from throughout the college who have put their hard work, time, and creativity into the productions.
To the NCAA tournament, and they are new MAC champions. Emerson was founded not on what is, but what might be, the endless possibilities of the human imagination.
Good morning. I'm Bill Gilligan, interim president of Emerson College. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you today to this special event. It's an honor to welcome the next president of Emerson College, Dr. J. Bernhardt. We are so happy you're here. Let me be more specific. I am so happy you're here. Welcome to Emerson. Welcome to Boston. Welcome home. Of course, the impetus for gathering today is to meet and hear from Dr. Bernhardt. But this special moment, a rare inflection point in our institution's history, is also a time for reflection about the college, our past, our present, and especially our future. In my 40 years here, I've been privileged to participate in a great and continuous transformation of this extraordinary institution, a lot of which was captured in that history of Emerson. I don't think I was in any of the black and whites, though. as a faculty member, as an administrator, and finally, as interim president, I've seen incredible growth and progress, from Berkeley and Beacon Streets, to Boylston and Tremont Streets, to Sunset Boulevard, and all around the globe. We've come so far. And now, as we begin a leadership transition, our college is poised for even greater achievements. At this moment, Emerson is on a launch pad. It may be cloudy outside, but the outlook is quite sunny for Emerson. You know, as I do, that Emerson is a leader in preparing independent thinkers to shape our society and our world through their creativity, their tenacity, and their ability to use their voices for good in the world. A world that will need those voices in the coming years. I just can't wait to see what comes next. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce Eric Alexander, the Emerson College class of 1978. He may have been in some of those black and whites. Chair of the Emerson College Board of Trustees. Eric also served as chair of the Presidential Search Committee that brought J. Bernhardt to us. I meant to say something salutatory here about Eric, but I'm really sorry, Eric, I can't read your handwriting. No, in all seriousness, I really want to thank Eric from the bottom of my heart for his leadership, for the partnership that we've had over the last year and a half. I couldn't have done the job without him leading the institution's board. It's a hard enough job for a rookie, but he made the job quite fun and doable for me, and I really thank you for that, Eric. So now, I'll turn it over to Eric for some special remarks. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you for that very, very generous introduction. And while I'm at it, Bill, let me thank you for a few more things. You have provided Emerson with more than 40 years of dedicated service and leadership. In the spring of 2021, as you began to settle into your well-deserved retirement with Bev at your side, you answered the board's call to serve as interim president for a few months. When it became apparent that a few months wasn't going to be enough, we doubled down, and you agreed to continue your leadership for another year, which then became 2. We knew this was a big ask of you and of Bev. We also knew that we could ask because we know your love for Emerson College and our community is that strong. And as expected, Bill, you delivered. Under your leadership, the college continues its forward momentum on its path to success, so that today, as we welcome our 13th president, Dr. J. Bernhardt, Emerson is as strong as ever. So thank you, Bill, and thank you, Bev. This moment of introducing a new president to the community has been nearly 2 years in the making. All of us on the Presidential Search Committee were deeply committed to finding the right person to lead our creative, innovative, and incredible college. The search process was grounded and focused on the criteria given to us by you, the Emerson community. Before we set out to look at a single candidate, we listened to you our students, faculty, staff, administrators, and governance groups to develop the priorities of the search, as well as the criteria required of our next president. We all agreed that we need a transformational leader. The years ahead will be challenging, and we need a smart, experienced leader with a clear vision and the skills to guide us through. Someone with an unshakable commitment to advancing equity, diversity, inclusion, and social justice, which are core to our mission. Emerson cannot be successful unless all voices are heard, respected, and included in the stories we create and tell. We needed someone who can foster collaboration and build community, someone who can bring together all our diverse constituencies into a solid, united community, and someone who can inspire that community to support Emerson in every way, including philanthropically. This is an area we must improve. From alumni engagement to multi-million-dollar gifts to our endowment, we need to build a culture of giving at Emerson to make our education more affordable and accessible to more students. Finally, we agreed that we needed someone with a passion for our mission, betterment of society through communications and the arts. The world needs Emerson today. When we look at the challenges facing our country and our world, much of it comes from a failure to communicate honestly and effectively. We need someone who can assure that our students graduate with both the skills and the values to deliver on the Emerson mission. And after a year of gathering those thoughts, considering dozens of candidates, I can tell you with great confidence that Jay Bernhardt is that someone. Jay meets each of these criteria. He has successfully managed a college very much like Emerson. He has a proven track record of fostering equity, building community, and inspiring financial support. He's a communicator at heart and truly believes in its power, and he brings an incredible level of energy and enthusiasm to the job. You're going to hear from Jay in a few minutes, but first I want to thank the members of our search committee. This was a long and difficult process that required a high level of personal commitment and time. But it shouldn't be a thankless process, so please allow me to acknowledge and thank them now. Representing the Board of Trustees is Doug Holloway, Robert Miller, Sheila Robinson, Steve Samuels, and Marilyn Zachris. Representing the administration and faculty, Paul Dworkis, Sean Clark, and Kristen Lieb. And last, but by no means least, Irka Perez, class of 2023, representing the student body. I knew we'd get to somebody you like, so good. Irka was an invaluable member of the search committee. She was a sound voice of reason and, frankly, very often the adult at the table. So, Irka, thank you very, very much. Thank you, Irka, and again, thank you to the committee. Now, please join me in welcoming Irka as she comes forward to introduce you to Dr. Bernhardt.
Hi. Thank you, Eric. It's my honor to introduce Dr. Jay Bernhardt, the next president of Emerson College. Dr. Bernhardt is a transformational leader whose entire academic and professional career has focused on the powerful ways that communication influences our society. Since 2016, Dr. Bernhardt has led Moody College of Communication at the University of Texas. Under his leadership, the college advanced interdisciplinary innovation, expanded its undergraduate enrollment, added new faculty positions, improved its four-year graduation rate to over 80%, and raised more than $145 million in funding. Nice. Dr. Bernhardt oversaw many important initiatives at Moody, including the creation of new academic centers, programs, and institutes, as well as the development of a new program in New York City and the expansion of the program in Los Angeles. That sounds familiar, right? Dr. Bernhardt previously served as a professor, department chair, and founding center director at the University of Florida in Gainesville. He also served as a faculty member at Emory University in Atlanta and the University of Georgia in Athens. From 2005 to 2010, Dr. Bernhardt was the director of the National Center for Health Marketing at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, leading the CDC's work in health, communication, marketing, media, and strategic partnerships. Dr. Bernhardt is a respected scholar and an innovative practitioner who applies communication, marketing, and media to public health. He is the author of more than 100 scholarly publications and is a well-known speaker in the field. Dr. Bernhardt earned his PhD from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill with a focus on health communications. He earned his master's and bachelor's from Rutgers, the New Jersey State University. As a student representative for the Presidential Search Committee, I'm excited to see Dr. J. Bernhardt as the future of Emerson. It is my honor to now welcome Dr. J. Bernhardt as Emerson's 13th president to the stage.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I guess it takes a 2-year search to get a standing O for the incoming president, so thank you all. What a great honor to be here. I'm so really delighted to speak with all of you today in the Cutler Majestic Theatre. It certainly is incredibly majestic, spectacular, even, and I'm so grateful to the Cutler family for bringing it back to life after 20 years to the great benefit of our college and our community. And I also want to say, Irka, thank you so much for that incredibly kind introduction. Your leadership and service representing students on the search committee is really appreciated and respected. So thank you. Let's give Irka a hand for her great work. I also would love to extend my deepest thanks to Dr. Bill Gilligan for coming out of retirement to serve Emerson as the interim president during the past 2 years. Bill, I know this entire community is grateful for your generosity, sacrifice, and leadership, and you, sir, have solidified your status as an Emerson legend. Let's please give Bill another hand. Very, very well deserved. I'd love to, of course, thank the search committee and everyone involved in the presidential search, especially Emerson's Board of Trustees for their support and their confidence in me. And I also really must thank our dedicated board chair, Eric Alexander. Eric, I appreciate all you've done for Emerson as an alum, a trustee, chair of the search committee, and chair of the board. I'm excited to work with you and the board in the years ahead. So thank you so much for your leadership. Let's please give Eric another hand. And last, but certainly not least, I want to thank all of you who've joined us here in person today, and those who are watching on the live stream and on video. And also special thanks to everyone who is working the event and helped make this event possible. I'm really grateful for your great work bringing us all together today, so thank you. So again, I share that I really am truly so honored and humbled, but also incredibly excited for the opportunity to become the 13th president of Emerson College. When Eric first called to share the great news with me that I was selected as Emerson's 13th president, I was really thrilled to be offered my dream job, but I also need to admit that I was also a little bit worried. Not because of the job, but because of that number, 13. Some may consider the number 13 unlucky, and I began to ponder that issue, but before I can get too freaked out about it, I will share that both of my daughters reminded me that the number 13 is quite auspicious for them. My 23-year-old daughter, Lila, reminded me that 13 is actually her favorite number. And my 15-year-old daughter, Olivia, reminded me 13 is the number she wears on her volleyball jersey. And they both let me know that apparently it's quite a meaningful number for Taylor Swift as well. all the Swifties in the house. And she often references it in her music. Not to mention that there are actually many cultures around the world that consider 13 to be a lucky number. So that was really all I needed to hear to make the decision that 13 is my lucky number. And I am so proud to be the 13th president. It's been so inspiring already to meet so many people from Emerson and begin hearing the stories of people's experiences. And while I still have much to learn about Emerson's history, operations, strengths, and challenges, one thing that has really already become quite evident to me, and that's that Emerson is an extraordinary place with fascinating people who are creative and innovative and passionate about what they do. I've also learned that Emersonians are committed to use their unique talent and specialized skills to help create a better world. And frankly, that's why I'm here today, because I share your priorities and I share your values, and I strongly believe in my head and in my heart that the fields of communication and the arts, coupled with a solid foundation in the liberal arts, are more essential than ever for our society. Even though we have more and more ways to connect with each other, we live in a world that's increasingly disconnected. We must leverage the power and potential of communication in the arts to reach people, to bring people together, and all do so for the betterment of society. I'm excited to lead an institution that's overflowing with artists and communicators, creators and makers, and especially doers, focused on the most vibrant and impactful academic disciplines of our times. Although I'm new to Emerson, the college has been on my radar for many years throughout my career, thanks to two Emersonians who share my field of study, health communication. Some of you may know my longtime colleague and friend, Scott Ratson, from his time at Emerson as a master's student initially, and later as a faculty member and global leader in health communication, health literacy, and strategic diplomacy. And my other connection is through the late Tim Edgar, a colleague and friend. Yes. Tim was a colleague and friend for many years who taught health communication here for 14 years. And I learned from these leaders and scholars that at its best, Emerson supports innovation, rewards imagination, and is a place where bold ideas should be celebrated and tested. I certainly hope that my leadership will honor their legacy and Tim's memory in a manner that would make them proud. As I prepare to move from Texas back to the Northeast, I have my coat backstage that I haven't worn in a few years. I've been reflecting a lot, actually, about my childhood. I grew up in central New Jersey. And some of my favorite memories from that time include the frequent day trips that my family made to visit my grandfather at his rickety old general store in a town called Morganville, New Jersey. Grandpa Aby, as we called him, was an immigrant, as were my other three grandparents. And they never had the opportunity to attend college. Grandpa's general store was really old school. Wood barrels, racks of penny candy, but in its prime, you could literally buy anything there. And the highlight of my visits as a young child was getting a Yoo-hoo, people remember Yoo-hoos, a comic book, and a piece of candy. Usually I would choose either a Chunky or Chuckles. I don't know if you remember those. But beyond the sweets, what I actually received from my grandfather was a firsthand lesson in the impact of hard work and sacrifice. My grandfather's store was a reflection of his core values. He literally worked all day, every day, 365 days a year, well into his 80s. No excuses, no distractions. He was committed to building a better life for his family, and his hard work would help make that happen. And although he didn't get to experience it himself, like most immigrants, my grandfather was a big believer in the power of education to change lives. And he told us countless times that getting an education was the most important thing that I could do, that my brother could do, that my cousins could do to lead happy and successful lives. And so I share this memory today, and because the lessons and commitments that I learned through a lifetime of experiences, personal and professional, are what I bring with me to Emerson. Like my grandfather and my parents before me, I sincerely and deeply believe that higher education has the power to transform lives by lifting people up, expanding minds and horizons, and creating opportunities like nothing else in society. As president of Emerson, I will be an outspoken advocate for our students, faculty, staff, and alumni, and the values that Emerson proudly stands for. I will work with you to expand our reach and impact, along with the recognition and power of our brand in Boston, Los Angeles, the Netherlands, and throughout the world. And I will honor and advance our commitments to diversity, equity, inclusivity, accessibility, and social justice, which includes our commitments to supporting communities right here in Boston. I've always enjoyed my visits to Boston. Thank you, thank you. Although I've never lived here before, I've always enjoyed my visits to Boston, and I have much respect for the city's achievements and cultural contributions, particularly as our nation's birthplace of higher education. My wife, Cassie, and our family look forward to making Boston our home and being a vibrant part of this vibrant community for many years to come. I did the math, and there are actually exactly 127 days until I start on June 1st. And I plan to use them, along with my first several months in office, to listen and learn as much as possible about every aspect of Emerson College. By the way, I used to work at Emory, so I'm so conscious of the fact that if I slip up on that, please forgive me while I learn, while I get past that mental slip. But I'm really learning as much as I can, every aspect of Emerson College. I will speak with Emerson students to learn about their experience and how we can better meet their needs. I'll listen to faculty about their teaching and scholarship and what they need to thrive now and in the future. I'll talk with staff about their dedication to the college and explore how we can create and explore opportunities for them to have long and fulfilling careers here. And I'll engage with our alumni, families, and friends to see how we can deepen their involvement and their participation. I'll also support and be involved with the work underway on the future of Emerson, and I'm grateful to everyone across campus who's involved in that process. And findings from that effort will help inform our strategic plan, which we'll start working on during my first year as president. And this plan will be a top priority for me, and we will build it in collaboration with you. Your ideas, goals, and aspirations will give it life, and I'm excited to get the process started in the fall. So in closing, I just want to say again how impressed I am with everything I've seen already from this remarkable college, but I know the best is yet to come. A few weeks ago, we're in awards season, and one of Emerson's outstanding alums, Jennifer Coolidge, as you probably know, won a Golden Globe for her standout performance in The White Lotus. After her award, she gave an incredible speech. She was hilarious and vulnerable and most of all authentic. And in thanking her director that night, she said to him, quote, "You've given me a new beginning." She said a lot of other things as well, most of which I can't repeat here. But the new beginning she spoke of is exactly how I feel about joining the Emerson community. I could not be more honored or proud of the opportunity to lead this incredible institution. It's a new beginning for me. And I again want to thank Eric Alexander and the members of the board, along with our entire community, for the trust you have put in me. This opportunity for me really is a dream come true, and I feel incredibly lucky to lead and serve the Emerson community. Lucky number 13 indeed. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. I look forward to working with you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bernhardt, for your inspiring words. And thank you all for being present for this special moment in the life of Emerson. Now for the all-important transition over the next several months. 127 days, I understand. To get that rolling right now, we'll start with a little Boston pronunciation advice. In Austin or in New Jersey, you would say, I was the closer. But here in Boston, we say closer. Closer. What does a closer do? Simply say, thank you all for coming, and have a wicked good afternoon.